Hey guys, it's Deborah. So I've been feeling really led to reshare my millennial rain dream. I dreamt of the millennial rain and I shared that a really long time ago, but I keep feeling led to reshare it for those of you who hadn't heard it before. I think it's just to encourage you guys. It's really, really encouraging and extremely exciting and will help you to just keep on doing what you're doing because it'll be all worth it. So first, before I share that, I had meant to share another very quick dream by a sister in Christ. Her YouTube channel is called Carrie Christ Follower, and she had a dream that related to something that I feel like I was being shown or I had an understanding of. And so yeah, I think it'll be encouraging too. Let me just share that super quick. I'll just share a clip from her video and then I will explain my part about it, and then I will finish off with my millennial rain dream.
Hi brothers and sisters, I want to share another dream today, and this dream was actually from the 15th of May, and since I've had some other things happen that kind of confirm and go along with, I guess you would say, this dream, I wanted to go ahead and share all of it together today. So the dream was about a friend of mine who is not a believer. I've known her for many years, and I have tried to explain to her the gospel and Jesus Christ and her need for a savior, and so I've even talked to her recently about this, but in the dream I was having that same conversation with her again, and what she said in the dream was that she decided she was going to catapult herself as a way of proving to herself that God was real. If she survived this catapult, she would believe. So I remember before she climbed into it, she asked me and said, "Don't you want to try it too? Don't you want to do it?" And I was like, "No, I don't need to." I was staying safely in this house that we were in, but she was climbing into this catapult. So I watched her as she, catapulted herself across this long distance, and then I could see her quite a ways away. She survived it, and then she stood up. She was like in a rocky mountainous area, and she stood up and started waving her hands in the air and saying, I believe in God." And it just reminded me of, people who, they're just not willing to make a decision right now because they can't see, and so they don't believe. And it made me think of this verse in John chapter 20, where Jesus is talking to Thomas, and Thomas was having doubts. And Jesus said, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." Amen. So, that's what faith is, believing without seeing. And so that's what the dream was about, I believe, was that she was representing the people who, they're not willing to believe quite yet, but once they are catapulted into this time of, tribulation that the Bible speaks of, they will then see that it is true and God is real.
Okay, so when she posted that video, it basically went in line with something I had been feeling really strongly recently, because both my siblings have taken the shot, and other people in my family and stuff and friends. And so the reason I'm bringing that up is because I was starting to feel, I had a day where I was just really, really upset about that. And yeah, anyway, so when she shared that dream, it really helped me a lot, because I started feeling this feeling like no matter what, once the rapture happens and there's like a big situation, like a could be disaster or whatever, that is what it's going to take for most people to believe it. We believe, like, we're blessed because we have faith, but we see because we believe, like many of us, but they have to see it to believe it. And it's just like I had this feeling like so many, the biggest harvest ever. It says, you remember that seal 6, it says a large group that no man could even number arrived in heaven, and they came out of the tribulation. So it's going to be the biggest harvest ever, and they will believe. They just needed that, and it sucks, but Thomas, he needed that. But anyway, it's frustrating, but I really feel like her dream was at the exact time, and I think it's going to encourage you guys too, if you have family members in that situation where you're like, why don't people believe me? Like, certain people are gonna have to see something for sure. So yeah, okay, well, I want to share that first, and then the second encouraging thing is the millennial rain dream. But so let's get into the dream. I'm going to have us walking through Jerusalem as I talk, and yeah, we'll just walk and talk. So for those of you who have heard this before, sorry, it's a repeat, but many I think haven't. So what happened? Okay, this all happened probably maybe like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And what happened was, how did it start? Okay, all of a sudden in my sleep, I found myself flying. It looked like I was flying over fields. I don't know if I was flying or this was like drone footage in my dream, but I was basically flying. I just saw over fields. And I think the significance of that was I was seeing like fields and fields and fields and vast, vast land. And I feel like the Lord was showing me, I had a knowing that the earth was very empty. And there was not a lot of people, but there was a lot of space on the earth. So at this point, I didn't know I was in the millennial reign. I mean, I can't even know for sure that I was, but this is what I believe, because it wasn't heaven. It wasn't earth as it is now. And I'll tell you why I even think it was from God, just because of the confirmations I got. So things I couldn't even have dreamt up. So, yeah, so I'm seeing this like aerial view over all these fields. And, it's a knowing the earth is very empty, less people, more land, and there was no buildings, nothing modern, nothing left modern. I saw nothing left modern. Now, obviously I wasn't flying over the entire world, but it's like a knowing that modern stuff wasn't there anymore. So I don't know how it goes. I'm assuming it's destroyed through, the tribulation plus Jesus, maybe he comes and like with fire burns it down or whatever, but that I don't see nothing, unless that's our job maybe to tear it down and then whatever. So things do get built, and I'll explain what. So then after I see this aerial view, and I'll just tell you now, the dream isn't very long, but it's encouraging. After I see that aerial view, then all of a sudden I was like transported, like poof, I was just in a village. I would say a town, a village, a city, something like that, but looks kind of like what you're looking at in front of you, in the way that it was all cobblestone. The difference was it was brand new. So it'd be like if we just built cobblestone stuff. And yeah, so it looked kind of like Israel, like kind of cobblestone. Okay, so I was in the city, and what happened? I was walking around, and I wasn't walking. I was walking super fast, almost like skipping, almost like running, skipping, hopping skip to my loo. Like I was so excited. The reason I bring this up is because, okay, this is the part that just, I can't get over. I can't get over it. I felt so good. So I saw me. One, I was younger. I looked like younger. And I felt so youthful, strong, energetic, everything perfect. I felt perfect. And it reminded me of when I was in college, like how I felt in college, because I was really into working out back then, and I was young, and I was always on the go, and I was so excited, excited for life, because I felt like that, but like a million times better. The other thing I felt was I had zero worries. I don't know how to explain it. And that's the hard part. I feel like, why am I even telling it? Because I can't even explain it. No worries. As you guys know, I have kids. Like, I have worries every single day. And even when I was in college, I had worries like, did I get this assignment done? And, I have to get to work and whatever. I worked in a bookstore back then. Jumped into this body of no worries. And this is I'll explain my confirmation at the end, that you'll see why that's really key. So I had zero worries. I felt young, youthful. My body was like in top condition, and I was like running through the streets and not running, but like trying to get somewhere. I had a place to be. So as I'm like, I just really want to focus on that feeling I had. Like, you guys, if you have any worries, you'll never imagine what it's like to feel like I felt like for 1 second of nothing matters, but everything's great. But not that it doesn't matter. Like, there's no problems. And I had that feeling, and I can never forget it. I can never let it go. I basically want to get to that feeling. So, because I've had so much worries for so long that I'm like, I just want to get to that feeling. So anyway, I looked as I was like running through these streets, like to get to my place. So happy. I was so happy. I looked to my left and I saw Jesus, and he was like, I didn't see him like close up in his face, but I knew it was him. Like I saw him, and he was smiling and he was laughing, and he had a bunch of people around him. And I had a knowing that there's always people like following him and walking with him. He was walking and they were walking. They were like in a different direction walking. I can picture it in my mind. They were all joking around and laughing, and he was laughing. And I remember my exact thought in the dream was, oh, there's Jesus. I'm going to hang out with him later. And it was like in my brain, I knew I can hang out with him whenever I want, and it'll be later, but it doesn't matter. I didn't have this feeling like I have to go hang out with Jesus now because it's like a, it's like a job or something like that. All I felt like was everything was casual and fun and perfect, and I could do it whenever I wanted to, but I didn't feel obligated to, but I didn't not want to. I wanted to, but it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just so casual. And you may wonder, oh, but he's God, so it's going to feel awkward. No, it's not awkward. That's how I felt. Like it was just not at all awkward. Like people were all over him, like just walking with him, and he was laughing and they were laughing, and just casual. So just so much love. So then I'm just like walking, getting to my destination. And meanwhile, I don't know where I'm going, but in the dream I knew. So then I get to one part of the city, and I remember I was going through like a lot of corridors and up and down stairs and stuff like that. And then I get to this one, it was like a lot of corridors, like a lot of tunnels, but bright and nice. And I get to this one place, and there's this woman, and she goes to me, I stop right when I get to her, almost like it was a checkpoint. And then she was like, remember, you've got to get to your group. So I was like, yeah, I got to get to my group. I knew I had people that I either hang out with, I have a mission with, I have a job with. I know there's people, like specific people that are like, I'm close with. And I remember seeing another group. So there was the group with Jesus. And then remember seeing another group. And in that group, I remember actually seeing Pastor Sandy from Soldiers for Christ. In that group, a different group, not my group, but I actually remember seeing him. So I don't know if that was just subconscious because I had watched a video of his a while. That was like 3 years ago. I'm not sure, but I saw him in that group. That was the only person I saw that I knew, but I saw other people, but I didn't know them. I don't know who was in my group because I didn't see them. I didn't get to them because this is where the dream ends. I said, oh yeah, I have to get to my group. And then I said, by the way, what country am I in again? And she said, okay, this is going to be weird, but it makes sense at the end. She goes, you're in Ireland. And I said, oh yeah, of course, I'm in Ireland. Then I woke up. So here we go. Why? Why, oh why would I be in Ireland? Ireland looks nothing like that, I'm sure. Well, there are ruins. But yeah. So obviously all the other stuff is self-explanatory. The reason I thought it was a millennial reign, like I said, it didn't feel like heaven or seem like heaven. It was not like the earth is now. So all the things that you have to look forward to, I think, one, the earth is going to be very empty. It will be vast. We'll have a ton of area. We're going to have our new bodies. And some people are like, probably wonder like, oh, what's your body like or whatever. From the dream, my body was the same. Like I felt like, I recall thinking I was going to hug Jesus later. So there's hugging, like I can touch somebody. I could feel the person. And I felt my body just fine, but it felt perfectly amazing. Okay, so then that's the other thing, is that you will feel amazing. You'll feel like your best day, your best, most excited, most wonderful day every single day for eternity. And then you won't feel any worries, any cares. I mean, but you can't even explain it. I just remember the feeling, and better than anything ever. And then the other thing too is we may have jobs, we may have to build cities again because there was nothing left. I saw nothing made of metal. I saw nothing made of cement. I saw nothing modern. Okay, so what else? The confirmation part. Okay, sorry. I keep jumping back and forth. I'm really sorry. I just do that because I keep remembering things. But the overall goal I just want you guys to know is there is just a time when it's going to be your best day you ever had, up times a million, and it's going to be every day. Now, back to the confirmation. So this is where it could be funny. So Ireland, why was I in Ireland? I wasn't in Ireland. God had to say that because God speaks in code. Like he clearly speaks in code. If you read the Bible, he speaks in code. Jesus, when he came to earth, he spoke in code. He spoke in parables. He only wanted certain people to hear stuff. He's like this. This is how he is. Okay? This is how he is. So he spoke to me saying it was Ireland, I know, because, well, two things. So first, I woke up and I was really afraid that this wasn't real because it was so good. I was actually afraid that it wasn't real. And I was like, please let this have been real. So I prayed for confirmation. I said, Lord, if this was real, can you tell me that the weather in Ireland is good? And it's so funny because like that's so random, like for me to think that. I was like, why? But that was the thing I thought I will ask. But I was so afraid to know that it wasn't real that I refused to check for like days. So finally, I was like, please let this have been real. If the weather in Ireland is good, then I'll know it's real. So then I just Googled, what is the weather like in Ireland or something like that. And then what came up, and this is not what I checked again, it didn't come up this way, so I'm not sure why. But what popped up, it said, the weather in Ireland is perfect. It said it's like perfect. And then I went in and clicked on it, said it's like not too cold, not too hot, and all this stuff about Ireland, which I didn't know. I actually didn't know the temperature or how Ireland really was. I thought maybe it's very rainy. So somebody in the comments, when I made this video a long time ago and I posted it to talk about the dream, somebody in the comments was from Ireland and they're like, no, Ireland is not perfect weather and it gets cold here. Sometimes they were like, sometimes it gets to 10 degrees Celsius. So I know a lot of people like know about Fahrenheit, but I don't. So I don't know what that would be, but let's just say 10 degrees Celsius would be like spring or fall kind of weather. We really like a light jacket or like a hoodie or sweater. Okay. Or like whatever. Probably Canadian thought process is different than other people. But yeah, I mean, it's not super cold where I live. It's cold like if you guys have ever been to New York City, that's exactly how it is. So basically, so in the person in the comments said it can get 10 degrees Celsius. And I was like, it can get as low as that. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, if that's your bad cold, I mean, maybe it gets colder. I don't know. I think the whole point was when I Googled, it came up like that. So that was my first confirmation. I was like, this dream was real. Like, this dream was real because it felt like one of those dreams that's very real, but you can be tricked. You can be tricked by dreams. So I had that first confirmation. I was like, whoa, okay, so the weather's great there. So what God was saying in the dream was when it's going to be like this, either our bodies will constantly feel perfect weather, because I don't know if the earth will change to that level where it's perfect weather everywhere. I don't think that, but I don't know. But maybe it's that our new bodies will feel perfect. It will feel perfect. I forgot to mention, I also felt the wind. So when I was either flying above the field or around that time, I felt wind. And everywhere I went, I felt this light breeze. And I remember in my mind thinking, oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention this. I remember thinking, this is the perfect weather. And I remember another thought. I said, I am never leaving this place. So these are the thoughts in my head. This is the perfect weather. I am never leaving this place. Wherever I am right now. Oh, I totally forgot all this. Wherever I am right now, because it's like I didn't know where I was. Wherever I am right now, I am literally never leaving. I'm never moving. I'm never going anywhere. This is me. This is it. And I remember the breeze hitting my body, like feeling it. And it was like, yeah, it was the perfect weather. It was sunny. I remember thinking, that's why I woke up and asked, can you confirm it by saying, Ireland's weather is nice? So again, if you're from Ireland, okay, like obviously that is not heaven. I'm not saying Ireland is the millennial reign, nothing like that. I'm saying it was my confirmation. Here's the final confirmation that really did it for me. So I said, but Lord, why was I in Ireland? Like, was it just so that I could look it up and see it's the perfect weather? And when I asked God, but why Ireland? I heard you were in Ireland. And okay, let me explain that. So number one, if you guys know West Indian terms or West Indian terms, basically the word Irie means happy, but it doesn't mean happy. It means something else. I'll put it on the screen. Look what it means, guys, if you look up in the Urban Dictionary. The word Irie means to be at total peace with your current state of being, the way you feel when you have no worries. And I heard the Lord say you were in Irie land. How? How could I make that up? My brain is not that creative. Okay? This was God showing me the millennial reign. Okay? So I I can't even explain the feeling. But this word, if you guys have never heard that word, like Jamaicans, like West Indian people say it, people from the Caribbean, they say Irie. And I always thought it meant happy. Like, I don't even know what it means. I don't say that word. So I just heard when people say that they are Irie, I thought that means they're happy. I had to Google it. Okay. So I had to Google it, and the Urban Dictionary is the only place I found it because it's obviously like a slang, and it means to be at total peace with your current state, like your total peace with no worries. And I was in Irie land. So it wasn't that I was in Ireland. God was just doing that with me, like that thing that he does, like with parables and stuff. Isn't he so funny? And so how could I have made that up? So that's my confirmation. I don't take dreams lightly. I don't just say, because I've had a lot. No, I haven't had a lot, but like I have dreams. Like I haven't had a lot that I think are from God. All I know is this one was legit, okay? For real, because there's no way. One, I got the weather confirmation, but that was minimal compared to this Irie land. How could I even think that up? So I was in total peace. Like, you're going to be that way. You're going to feel like you've never felt the most peaceful. No worries, no concerns, money, job, family problems. You're worried about your kids. Nothing. Gone forever. On top of that, perfect scenery, perfect environment. On top of that, perfect body. I mean, perfect everything. But what's the biggest part too? Who did I see? Jesus. You can be with God forever and hang out with him, and you don't feel it's going to be awkward or weird. I didn't feel anything like that. It was the most casual, like the best friends forever. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I felt. And then whoever this group, I didn't get to see my group, but whoever's my group, like, am I going to have this close bond with them? I feel like I will, because I don't understand how relationships are going to work up there, but I feel like we'll have these close bonds with people. Like, I don't know how that's going to go, but I mean, I just felt like there's going to be people that I'm more working with than others, but you're not going to be bored. You're going to have, it feels like missions or jobs or things to accomplish. Well, this will be priests and kings. So I didn't even get to see that part where I feel like I'm ruling over people or anything like that. I don't know about all that part, but I'm sure that will be there. It says will be priests and kings. And then on top of it, the vast land, like if you've never owned a house or land, like maybe you've had a house, but you had this like tiny backyard, like all this land, who knows? We could have palaces for all I know, and then we're ruling from there to rule a nation. I have no idea about that part, but I hope that encouraged you guys. The first part of the video, I hope encouraged you to know for your family and friends that many are going to have to see to believe, and that's what Sister Carrie was trying to say, that's just going to be how it is. And the last thing I'll say is that I really learned a lot about love recently. Like, I know you feel angry with people right now, and that's how I was feeling, but like, we really have to love people because it's really hard right now. And so I just keep trying to do that, just walking in love, even though it's really hard. And yeah, trying to do that, love God and then love others, and then just share that, and then just know that when the time comes, like look at the huge harvest is going to believe that, but there's nothing more you can do. Just share it, and then when they see, they'll believe, and then they'll get to experience this life that I'm talking about, this millennial rain dream. So yeah, then they're probably going to be in a lot of trouble physically, but they'll at least have that part. Some people, like not everybody obviously will, and it's not gonna be the reality for everybody. There'll be some like that. So anyway, I guess that's it. I hope it encouraged you guys. I hope it gave you more, ammunition, or maybe that's not the word, more desire, drive to just keep on talking to people and sharing the gospel. And I think if you're watching my video for over 30 minutes about a dream I have, you probably are saved. But if you're not, you don't want to miss this boat. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss this. The perfect body, perfect atmosphere, perfect weather, perfect companionship, being with God forever. So yeah, you don't want to miss that. Okay, I think that's it. I know it must have encouraged you guys because it got me all fired up just talking about it. So it reminded me of a lot of good stuff about it. So yeah, I guess that's all. Oh, and if you guys are wondering what's going on with all this Israel stuff, like my last two videos are on that. Just watch, if you guys don't know, I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the comment section. Revelationchapter12.com. You know that channel. He did a latest video kind of summing up everything on this whole stuff that's going on with the whole Kaduri, Kesema, Shoshani prophecies, and I even talked about Enoch being the 70th shepherd, Netanyahu, and all this stuff. So I just don't want to go over it again because he just made that video. So just watch that video. We're just waiting. Like, it's again with the waiting. There's a waiting period and everything's still in play. Nothing's out. Just watch that video. He'll explain everything. Like I said, there's no point in me re-explaining it. So everything's still in play. We are waiting. June is big. Yeah, because you have all that UFO stuff too coming out in June. So, okay, we'll leave it at that. Yep. So if you're not saved, get saved now. Don't wait any longer. Believe in Jesus as your savior, and you will have the best eternity ever. So hope that blessed you guys and encouraged you, and I will talk to you again soon. Until next time, God bless and shalom.